Today on the channel, we got something entirely different from FTC. We got the rising stars of wrestling, Cliff Compton.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another wrestling figure unboxing and review. But today, we got something we don't do a whole lot on the channels. We've done a few over the years. We're talking to FTC Wrestling Toy Line, Rising Stars of Wrestling, an older figure. We'll get into that. And we got old Cliff Compton. But for all your Cliff Compton needs, eBay at this point, I'm not exactly sure, maybe FTC's website, but of course for all your other wrestling figure needs, hit up Ringside Collectibles, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Gotta get a deal out there. And Cliff Compton, I'm sure a lot of people are saying, who? Well, he was the former Domino from Deuce and Domino fame in the WWF back in the day, and people are probably still saying, who? I get that, but Cliff Compton had a pretty good run in the indies. I haven't really heard much about it in the last couple of years, but a guy that has a little bit of a name on the indies, or did have a little bit of a name on the indies, but FTC Toy Line, part of the Rising Stars, him coming off the Deuce and Domino days, went into this line. We'll talk a little bit about that line and the cross-sell in the back of this package. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We'll see where it goes from there. We'll do some comparisons later on in this line or in this video. And you're probably saying to yourself, Kyle, why are we opening this? Why are we doing this? Well, Heroes Hideout, you guys maybe have heard of that toy store, I think in New York or something like that. They had an online sale. They were going out of business. Whatever it may be, this ended up being like $2.20. And I got a few other things. Been using them for giveaways on the channel. But $2.20, I said, you know what? What's it matter? I'm going to check this one out. I'm going to see it. I haven't unboxed an FTC in a while. I'll put this with my other FTC figures. I'm trying to think who I have. Shane Douglas, Blue Meanie, Colt Cabana. Just a handful. And now Cliff Compton's going to join that party, I guess, here. But let's dive into it. Let's talk about the packaging. Big clamshell bubble over the top of this one. Always nice how they display their figures. Looks really good. Now, this has been bunching around their store, popping around from left and right for years probably. So the packaging a little bit foggy in the plastic. I'm opening it up, so it doesn't really matter to me. FTC does do this zip tie up here at the top to keep their stuff going. Always found it interesting. That locks it out, so that's how you know it's brand new because of that. However, they sell these zip ties on their website. So if somebody wants to put these back together, they can very easily do that if they want to. But a nice way to display. I think these display really good. Figures leaving a lot to be desired, though, as we have said before. Rising Stars of Wrestling. Cliff Compton right over there. Figures Toy Company. Nothing else really exciting there. On the back of the package, very interesting here. UPC's Jibber Jabber at the bottom. You got cross-sell at the top. All kinds of guys. Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Doc Gallows, Brian Myers, AJ Styles, Amber Gallows, Tama Tonga, Cliff Compton, Joey Ryan, Kenny Omega, Chris Harrow, Bull James, Colt Cabana, Sami Callihan, Sanjay Dutt, Chuck Taylor, Trent, Rocky Romero, Brian Cage, and Eva Lise are in this line as well. Also legends, New Jack, Jim Cornette, Blue Meanie, PJ Polacco. I actually have all of those in my collection. Very interesting. This came out in 2016, so quite a few years old. I just couldn't sell it, I guess. But I'm going to cut it with the old trusty scissors. See you later, goodbye. And we're going to get down to the packaging, or we're going to get down to the figure inside here. Nice clamshell. Pretty cool design for the packaging, though. You got a nice firm hard card back here. Give it the old see you later, goodbye. Then you got this plastic prison kind of locked in. Not a bad way to go to market, I will say that. See you later, goodbye. Now we do got a Singapore cane kendo stick in here, all bent up, all out of shape here. Reminds you back to the old Jakks Deluxe Aggression days, and we'll talk a little Jakks when we get into the figure here. But a nice kendo stick, a little bit oversized. Needs a heat gun to kind of get it back into place, I think. And then we got hard wire ties on him here. He is locked down in these wire ties. One at the leg, one at the arms, and I think one at the waist maybe. We're going to find out. Right there. I think he's ready to go. Yep, he's ready to go. See you later. Goodbye. All right, we got twist ties all over the place. Going to put those off to the side. We're going to dive into old Cliff Compton. Cliff Compton looking interesting. Now, never in 10 million years would I be able to tell you the head sculpt on this, who this is, that it's Cliff Compton. Just not going to work for me. Just no clue who that is there. But he does got facial hair going on. He got 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth. Not sure if he's got ears, as the hair is covering those ears right there. But an interesting looking head. But once again, I would never tell you this is Cliff Compton. And I don't know Cliff Compton well enough to say, oh, there he is, Cliff Compton. It's not the Macho Man. It's not the Ultimate Warrior. You guys know how that goes. But interesting head scan. Now, the soft goods are really nice. And some may say they take too many soft goods on these because you got the jorts. We'll call them jorts down here. You got the soft good jorts going on. You got the nice plastic knee pads down here that look really nice. But then you got a nice leather coat on this one. And I might try to pull this leather coat off. I wonder if I could use this for an elite or so. It's probably a little bit too baggy, but a really nice attention to detail on this coat. It does look really nice. You got the skeleton in the front, skeleton in the back, skeleton on the arms. Really, really nice deluxe coat, even with a real working zipper on it. So that's really nice that they go that extra mile on that. We don't get stuff like that with our Mattel or Jazzwares figures in this day and age. We do get a shirt right here of Cliff Compton, a nice black shirt. Got his picture on the front. Missing the glasses on this figure. Maybe that would have helped on a few of those things along the way. I will say no staining on here. Now, we had some staining issues on some of the FTC figures, and I would say if this hasn't stained since 2016, I think we're pretty safe from staining on this figure right here. But he does look pretty good outside of the head. I think it's just a little too cartoony, and that's where I'm going to talk about Jakks. Jakks had some really good head scans. Still ones that hold up today better than their counterparts from Mattel or Jazzwares. There's no change in that fact, of course. This one, a little bit too cartoony. It does look Jakks-like, but just not as good. How about that? But the rest of the body does feel very Jakks Ruthless Aggression style. Now, we do know they have usually a mishmash of Jakks parts here. It's a little bit of Jakks Deluxe Aggression, a little bit of Jakks Standard Ruthless Aggression figures. We'll compare later on in this video, but that's how they get these bodies, using parts, mixing and matching. That's what they do, and that's what they did here with old Cliff Compton. Now, his arms do go all the way around. Single jointed elbow. You do get a bicep cut. Hands back and forth. You do get waist articulation. A little loose in that waist. Head extremely tight. I get a little side to side, but not a whole lot there. Leg goes up. Single jointed knee. Ankles up and down. No side to side, back and forth. It is your Jakks Ruthless Aggression type feet on this one here. An interesting one. Now, does he stand by himself? That's going to be an interesting... oh, look at that interesting turn of events right there. He does. No peg hole in the feet. He's not going to be able to be on a stand or anything like that. So, very interesting figure. It's interesting. That's what it is. That should be the theme here. FTC, very interesting. But I like the extra attention to detail with a little accessory. Never hurt anybody. The coat is really, really nice. The soft goods shirt, really, really nice. The figure itself, outdated, obviously. The articulation, outdated. I like Jakks, but people have moved on from that. Myself have moved on from that. So it is holding it back in the past. And we know FTC making new figures with different articulation. We're still waiting for wrestlers in that line. We've had referees, security, that kind of stuff so far. Going to be interesting to see what happens when they finally do wrestlers, if they end up doing wrestlers. But not bad, especially for $2 and change. You can't really go wrong. You really can't fault this for this price. Now, normally like $30 price point, that's pretty rough in this day and age, I will say, for a figure like this. But he does look good, and that jacket really puts it over the top. The skeleton jacket, really, really cool. You can see this on a Raven figure, something like that if you wanted to. Now, some comparisons. How about we got his Jakks Ruthless Aggression figure from back in the day, of course. Deuce and Domino. Don't forget Cherry as well. We got that figure there. You can see the scale-wise. And then I did bring a Deluxe Aggression figure here from Jakks, so a little bit taller than those, a little different articulation. Usually it's the Deluxe Aggression arms that are used on these, I think, most of the time. But you can kind of see that comparison there. And I do got a Mattel Elite, I guess, bouncing around. Got the Chase version of DDP from the Mattel Monday Night Wars line. You can see that. So pretty much in the scale, just a little bit thicker, a little bit more bubbly in the figure is what this Cliff Compton is compared to his competition. His competition over here. So very intriguing. It's an intriguing figure for $2.50, let's call it. Not a bad day at the office, but I was not a collector of all the FTC figures. I'm not going to go back and get the FTC figures. Just really doing this one here for science a little bit. But what say you guys? Did you guys dabble in the FTCs? I feel that that's what I did. I got a lot of the Legends just because I wanted those characters. I really wish they were Mattel Elites or a different line. It is what it is, though, with FTC. But did you pick up any FTCs? What FTCs do you have in your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day. And then some. We got even more content for you, of course, over on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. We got videos every day over there. All kinds of stuff. ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget on Amazon, now available, the Kindle edition of my book, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Classic Superstars Series. Appreciate the support over there. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Cliff Compton, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.